Oh, music, please.
As a small biz pro, I saw we roll, using procurement, program and control. As a small biz pro, I saw we grow, using procurement, program and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Business Zone with
Crystal.
and Coach Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. And today, folks, we're going to have an amazing show. So, as you know, 2026 is coming up. That's the FIFA World Cup. And 2028, LA 28 Olympics. So, we got a very special guest on the show today who's going to talk about that. But in the meantime and in between time, I want to talk to my co-host. So, co-host, how you doing today?
I am wonderful. And yourself? How was your week?
Oh man, this week I had my class, my mentorship program class. It was great on
Oh, okay.
Tuesdays. Yeah, because you know we advertise it for every Tuesday from 5:30 to 7:30, and we've got about 16 entrepreneurs in the program, in the mentorship program. So we're helping them to become contract ready, next level style, so they can participate in the 2026 FIFA World Cup events in terms of procurement and get them ready for LA 2028 Olympics so they can also do some contract and procurement opportunities and government contracts as well, just in case. So that's what's going on. And Coles, you're going to be one of the instructors on this program too, right?
I am. I am. So somewhere down in beginning of the next year, right? Not
Yeah,
the end of
in
this year.
February, I believe. February
February.
3rd.
Okay. Well, that's
Yeah.
cool. I'm looking forward to it. I've met some. I was there. I think I popped in for your first class and met some great people. This week I'm working with. We're getting people bank loan ready.
Yes.
So I was the Urban League is partnered up with Momentous Capital,
Hmm.
and so they're doing a bank readiness program, and actually did a in-person hands-on workshop on projections
Hmm.
and how realistic those projections need to be, and also what lenders are looking for when it comes to your projections. So wanting to see real numbers, not like when you do
Not,
your
not
business plan.
fictitious numbers, right?
Yeah, when you do your business plan, you just throw some numbers, you go out there and do your research, and you see how much money a company, the same type of business is making, and then you make some pretty unrealistic projections on the income, and you have no clue on the financial on the expenses
You
side,
mean
and
you
so
mean like projections like, oh, I started my business last year, and in year two, I want to make sure I make $1 million, right?
right,
Projections
exactly.
like
And then you go, so how you gonna make that $1 million?
uh,
Right. So yeah, that's the stuff I do all the time, right? So, but so the project, I've used the projection sheet. What happened to me? Where'd I go? Uh oh, what happened?
look like your camera went dead on you, co-host.
It's right there. So anyway, I've used it as well, for my own projections, and then I've used it for the kids. And so there I am. I'm back. And so the same projection sheet. You break it down year one, year two, year three, and then you get your quarterlies and your balance sheet and your
Yeah.
cash flow. So they have their homework of before them. We broke them up into groups and had some conversations. I think I spoke to someone that has a one service based business where she does college tours, and she's in business her second year in business. Someone that does custom hats, and she's been in business for over 20 years. And then someone in the hair business, hairstylist, and he has a salon and just moved to a new salon. So he's been around for about 15 years. And so each one, obviously, different expenses, different ways to generate revenue. So that's what I did this week.
You know what I was thinking about, co-host? I was thinking we need to launch a clinic, a financial clinic for about four classes. So you can really go over those aspects with these small businesses. I know the financial part of their business is the Achilles heel to entrepreneurs, but we got to find a way to make them start falling in love with the financial part again, because I know you can make them fall in love because of the way you teach your material, the way you present it. You make it so easy for them to understand. I'm just thinking, man, we got to do something like that.
Well,
So
it's about the money, man. So I find the money part of my business very sexy. So, so I don't know why they don't see that, but yeah, it's just it depends. Creatives always say I'm creative, and the money part, or all of that financial stuff is really taxing to me. But really,
yeah,
bottom line, why you're in business is you're not
exactly.
there to make money, right, and to make a profit. So
Yeah, the
and
finance.
that's how I embrace it. It's about profit. You're not doing this as a hobby. You're doing this because you want to make money.
Exactly. And the financial part is the lifeblood of the business. So we want to start getting entrepreneurs falling in love with that financial aspect of their business again. I see we have Pat Langford tuning in here, and she giving us a round of applause for that. Thank you,
Hey
Pat.
Pat, welcome. Glad to have you this week. Yeah, so that was my week, and then I'm working on two clients that are trying to get loans. So I'm doing some forensics on their financials, their financial reports. They weren't quite up to par.
Hmm.
So I've identified the problem. Now I'm fixing the problems for them. So I
Yeah.
should be done with that this week. And that was and then we're rounding down. Next week is actually, and it got here so
I
incredibly
know.
fast. Thanksgiving is next Thursday, and then Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So everybody has been told that they should be supporting community-based businesses, and in our case, black-owned businesses.
I think
Uh,
that's a real thing, man, and they should try it for the first time.
I believe there is a blackout for some of the corporations that are, I think they're calling it Blackout Friday. So for kind of like the no King's Day kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's what's happening the Friday after. So consciously there's an economic boycott for the major retailers on Black Friday, and so there are a number of organizations that have been put on the chopping block. But because we do have who our guest is, I'm not going to call them out because I don't know if they're sponsors or not. So,
If they're affiliated with her or not.
but you guys know what to do. So November it starts. It started actually November. It starts Monday the 25th to December 2nd, and it is making sure that we want participants to shop at places that support you as a people and what you believe in, and spend your money with people that community based, small businesses, local businesses. Spend your money there. They could use your help. It's the holiday season. Uh, Thanksgiving dinner alone, Gilbert, I did a calculation from Thanksgiving dinner last year
Hmm.
to Thanksgiving this year, and
Hmm.
the cost of hosting a Thanksgiving dinner is going up about 45%. Uh,
45. Holy
45%.
moly.
And so people are going to have to become very creative on what that looks like. Maybe smaller families. Maybe everybody bring a potluck. Maybe that's better.
You know,
Potluck, everybody.
you know what's amazing, co-host? As we look around in the marketplace, the price of everything is going up. I mean, everything. And our fees, consulting fees in our or in our proposals, they don't want us to increase it. They want to keep us down at 2000 prices.
Well, that's because unfortunately the government cut back a lot of the funding, and the funding for nonprofits has taken a major hit this year,
Yeah. Yeah.
and 26 doesn't look too much better. And
Yeah.
so everybody's had to tighten. Although, here's what I do think, and this is those programs that for those nonprofits that have programs that are centered around children,
Yeah.
education, youth education, and sports, they seem to not have as many barriers. I
Mm.
know for my tennis program, we've acquired a couple of new sponsors in this last quarter, and but again, we have an academic program, we have a sport program, but we focus on academic and college prep for our kids.
Yeah.
So we've been able to find funding for our program, and but so you just have to be a little bit more creative, I think,
Yeah.
in this day and age. You got to search out stuff that you just got to do your due diligence. You got to do some searching. You got to always be on the lookout and see, if your program fits some of the criteria.
Yeah. Well, for those of you who are just tuning in, this is the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. We're on every Friday from 3 to 4:30, and we make it a point of our duty to bring very special guests in here so they can tell you about small business, large business, contracts, opportunities, what type of activities are going on in the marketplace, even any kind of laws or regulations that's changing or new, something to that effect. And we try to get people in from time to time, whether they're contract providers, they're lenders, they're event managers and administrators. So you guys can get in on the ground floor and know what's going on. So today we have a very special guest who's going to be talking about how minority businesses can prepare themselves to get involved in the upcoming Olympics 2028, LA 2028. Guys, it's going to be amazing. The budget for that, what I found out, is $5 billion.
Hmm.
$5 billion, guys. So you want to get
Big
your
number.
slice of the pie. Yeah, big number.
Big
So you
number.
want to get your slice of that pie, and she's going to articulate how, because she's been involved in these things from I was a little baby.
Wait a minute. You just said she older than you are. That is not possible, people.
But
But she has been in for about 15 years. So and she
she's been
and
in it
her,
for about 15 years, so she
yeah,
knows a lot. She knows about a lot about a lot. Okay.
yeah, she
So,
does.
for those of you who are tuning in on LinkedIn, welcome. This is a platform for you on a Friday. Those of you who are tuning in from Facebook, welcome. And those of you who are tuning in from our website, which is the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert.com, then this is the platform that you want to tune into every Friday. Okay, so my co-host is going to tell you guys how you can subscribe and follow us and receive valuable information from us. So take it away, co-host.
All righty. So we want you guys to go over to our YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything, but you get notification every week when we're here. And we have diligently been here for over 10 years and bringing you information. And you know what? You do get some. If we were actually going to coach you in real life, it would cost you a whole lot more money. So
That's true.
here you get some amazing tidbits on how and tips and on how to run your business successfully, how to do contracts, how to be, bank loan ready and just business ready. So you want to join us every Friday. And so you can hit that QR code right there and it will take you to our YouTube channel and you hit the subscribe button and then you will get notification on what we're doing. And we'd love to have you in the Business Zone family. We have resources and referrals. We just come with a whole wealth of knowledge and information and people that can help you grow your business. And we do this because Gilbert and I have both been entrepreneurs for good number of years. Me over 5 years, and I had to start my business. I had to build my own network. I didn't have consultants. I didn't have coaches. I didn't have that. I had to figure it out myself.
You got to stumble and fall a number of
Stumble
times.
and fall and everything. And so we're bestowing our knowledge that we've accumulated over these 30 years to you. And then Gilbert has extensive knowledge on how to be contract ready both from being a contractor as well as being the person approving the contract. So
Yeah.
he gets it, you get it from the inside and the outside. So we just encourage you to subscribe and become part of the Business Zone family. And so
All
that's how you
right.
do that. So we will hopefully see you guys again, and and we are always looking for guests. So you can be a guest on the show as well. So that's
Hmm.
our little commercial for the moment. So now we're going to take you. So here's something, and I'm excited today, Gilbert, because, in Los Angeles, the conversation for the last, since the pandemic, yeah, since the
Yeah.
pandemic, since 2020, has been about the Olympics coming to Los Angeles. And there
Yes.
are a number of other events. As Gilbert said, the FIFA World Cup. We're getting a second round at the All Star game. We're getting a
Hmm.
second round with the Super Bowl, and I think there's some other things that are happening. I
Yeah.
think I even saw the NASCAR. I think is coming. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's
A
coming in the
whole lot
next
of activities.
several years, and so we wanted to make sure our small business community gets an opportunity, a once in a lifetime opportunity, especially for the Olympics and the Paralympics. Uh, Opportunity to be part of that because that can be a game changer. And so we just want to make sure you get all the information on that, and you're going to get it firsthand from someone that has been working with it. So with that, we're going to bring on our guest. We're excited to meet for you to meet her as well. Hello, and I'm going to situate it so you are the main person to be seen, and we're not. There we go.
And I'm sure our guest will tell you that she's from Kansas City. Yeah. Kansas City, here she comes.
Yes. Yes. Originally from Kansas City. That's where I was born. Raised in Dallas, Texas as well. And I finished high school and college in Atlanta, Georgia before relocating to Los Angeles. And I've been here since 2011, right when I was going into the London 2012 Summer Olympic and Paralympic Games.
Mm-mm-mm. That's
So let me
amazing.
read her bio real quick, and then we're gonna get into
Yes,
the nitty gritty and get to really learn about her,
that's
how she
right.
got to this position. Because I think this is like a dream job, man.
Yeah,
This is
I
one of those,
envy her.
right. This is one of those jobs when you're like, when I grow up, I want to be
Just like
instead of the accountant, I want to be. So,
Mhm.
Lila Brown, she is the CEO and founder of her company, LB Media Group. He's also the Olympic and Paralympic sports agent, which is awesome. She's Los Angeles based, as she just said, and public relations and athletic representation agency that bridges the gap between the elite athletes and corporate America. And with over 15 years of experience in publicity, marketing, and content creation, she has become the go-to strategist for connecting underrepresented Olympic and Paralympic athletes with sponsorship, media exposure, and meaningful brand partnerships. So her unique agency, she's rooted in community empowerment and economic equality. So we are really happy to have her. She was involved. She represented some of her athletes at the Paris 24 Games and is already preparing for Milano Cortina in 2026, and of course the Los Angeles 2028. So she advocates a strong connection between small businesses and the Olympic movement. And so with that, we are going to welcome Ms. Lila Brown, and we are so happy to have you here. So razzle and dazzle with how you happen to get this amazing occupation and career.
Sure. Well, thank you so much for having me. And it is an honor to be able to speak to your audience today. And I really want to give them the best insight. And so thank you, Gilbert, Coach Gilbert, for the invitation. So I started in Atlanta, Georgia, graduating in 2008. And I'm sure you all remember what was happening there. We were inheriting the Bush economy. President Obama at the time was coming in, and he was really about small businesses. So it was really difficult to find work. So I finished at Georgia State University. I have a degree in journalism, and my concentration was public relations. And I had tons of internship experience, and I always just wanted to work for an agency. But, all these massive layoffs that were happening at the time, it was difficult. So I just used my internship experience and created my own agency. And at that time, search engine optimization was just growing, and I was already using it. And so I really built that into my website. And one day I received an email from an Olympic gold medalist in track and field. And she was coming out of the Beijing Games. She had this gold medal, but no publicity. Was on the verge of losing a major sponsor. And so she told me that she understood publicity helped her with sponsorship, or would help her with sponsorship. So would I be interested in representing her? And so we met, we hit it off right away, was very successful. What happened was she was losing her Nike deal. And I got her in ESPN, The Body Issue, where she posed nude. And she just blew up, of course. Beautiful athlete, a brand new fan base that she didn't have before. But because of that, a lot of companies became interested in her. So she asked if we could extend what we were doing, because she was on the verge of losing Nike. Would we be able to do a little bit more as an agency for her? And so we are kind of looking like that's going to take an investment. I'm not going to have my normal retainer, but let's go for it. And so we signed her to the first ever track and field shoe deal with Under Armour. And I believe that deal was at least 8 years at this point. So it ended up being a long-term deal. So we kind of knew that we had something going. We were providing a unique approach. And so from there, going into London 2012, we picked up another track and field athlete and just doing the public relations. But again, the athletes always wanted a little bit more from us. So we started to pivot and working closely with Team USA. It was called the USOC at the time. Now it's the USOPC, to add in the Paralympic movement. And working with Team USA has been great on the marketing side, communications, social media becoming a bigger factor. And my favorite part, working with the sponsors. And so once they realize, like, okay, we got a viable agency here, quick response time, professional, works well with the athletes and the brands. That was just our bread and butter. So my formula has kind of carried us through, and we expanded into the Winter Olympics, and then that went into also Paralympics. So winter and summer Olympics and Paralympics.
Perfect.
Wow, that's how amazing is that? So for you, it there's no one industry, one athletic sport. Is any sport? Is it
Yeah, I think we're pivoting to some of the more popular sports now. But
Okay.
that's the great thing about the games coming to Los Angeles. So you will be able to see kayaking, which I enjoy. And I've represented someone on a gold medalist on the USA rowing team. I love rugby. I enjoy track and field. And I'll just go back quickly to my upbringing in Kansas City. We had out there what we called classical Greek studies. So for elementary, middle, and high school, I did classical Greek magnet schools. And so the basis of what we were learning, we had electives in Olympic sports. So I was taking classes in track and field. You can get an A in cross country. You can get a B in diving. The way the school was set up, we had our Olympic day. We had, all the equipment. But at some point I knew someone has to help the athletes with the business side, the academic side. So I appreciated that. But yeah, so for me, it's really that. It's poly. It's all the sports. And so I can't really choose one. Don't make me choose. I do have my favorites that I really enjoy because it's easier.
Right.
But it just depends on the country as well. Some of my winter athletes, they're huge in Norway. They're rock stars in certain countries, but in the United States, it's a little, we can do some better brand awareness for the athletes. But that's what I'm saying. The games coming to Los Angeles, you'll get to see all the sports from equestrian to, like I said, rowing, kayaking, rugby, the list goes on.
And it's interesting because I've always been a champion of the non-traditional. So gymnastics in the summer, and in the winter for the Olympics, and ice dancing, and synchronized swimming. These are all the sports that I really loved during the Olympics. And then in my mid 20s, I learned how to ski, and I just became
Mhm.
fanatical about skiing. And so I worked with the National Brotherhood of Skiers. So that we could work with kids. So we had a couple kids. We had actually a downhiller. We've had, and I think
Mhm.
there was one that won not this recently. So we had a downhill high, the speed where they just jumped off the rack. So we had a number of those, and we did have a number of them that got close. But that was our mission, was to get them to the Olympics.
Yes. So yes, the National Brotherhood of Skiers. I'm becoming more familiar with them. I interacted with them last year for the first time in Keystone. Great Black Ski Weekend type of atmosphere, and I was working with two athletes from that program. So we have Keegan Supple, who's a
Uh
ski
huh.
athlete, and then Brian Rice Jr., who's a snowboard athlete. And so they have actually, or at least qualified for Milano Cortina. We'll see what happens the rest of the season, but they are looking like viable options. And I know Brian wants to be the first Black snowboarder. That's his goal, is to be the first Black snowboarder for Team USA. And he's doing very well. They both won some big air competitions in Mammoth last
Mhm.
season. So great athletes, but Team USA is stacked. We have, I mean, really to make Team USA Olympics, Paralympic teams, it's like the Olympics and Paralympics itself, just to qualify for our Team USA. It is just as exciting, just as competitive. And a sport like swimming, where they only take two swimmers, it's like you are losing a spot on the team by a tenth of a second, like
Wow.
just a hair.
Yeah.
So we see that a lot with track and field, a lot of the time sports, even with like the gymnastics, where you're getting judged on style and different, difficulty of points and things like that. So it's really exciting. So I just encourage people to tune into these sports year round. At nationals, tune in for World Cup events. You can always tune in online, and hopefully we'll have better broadcasting options. But I really, again, I think LA 28 is going to do that. Once we get a hold of it, this new generation can see the games. I think they're never going to let it go.
Yeah, and it's so one, it's expensive. Tennis was, I mean, skiing was very expensive for a child to get to that level. That's like 30, 40, $50,000 for a parent, because skiing is not a cheap sport. Just getting to the mountain. But we spent a lot. I spent 20 years, probably 5 months out of the 20 years a year on the mountain. Mammoth was our home. Was where we went all the time, but we've been to all of the other Utah and Colorado. We have our events there. I actually got an opportunity to spend the Thanksgiving weekend with some of the national USTA, USSA skiers, and some of them were Olympic caliber at the time. Now my sport is tennis. And so, doing the exact same thing, same kind of program, but not necessarily trying to get them to the pro circuit, really trying to get them an opportunity to get scholarships to go to college. And so we're very happy and proud of that. We just had one young lady finish Harvard. She was the top tennis player at Harvard. So we're excited. And we got another one that just enrolled in August. So we're excited for Maya. And so, the sport by itself teaches kids so much, so many, the discipline and the hard work that go into becoming this Olympic caliber type of athlete is just absolutely grueling for the families and the athletes. But to be able to go out and showcase is that's the purpose of the Olympics, right? Is to represent your company and to showcase and the hard work that it takes to get there.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
so Lila, tell me this: with your experience in this, the Olympics and Paralympics and all of that, how would you suggest that small businesses get involved in these programs, especially minority businesses and disadvantaged businesses, get involved in these programs so they can actually grow their business, grow their community, and also be able to hire people? How do you suggest they get involved?
Well, I mean, I've learned a lot from, Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass. She has the Sports Entertainment Procurement Summit that she holds. And so she has the resources available. I think we talk a lot about procurement, which is great. But if you're agency or company is not selected for a contract, like what do? Do you just
Yeah.
like not participate? So I think, and what I haven't seen, and you may have seen or heard this when we were at Greater Los Angeles African American Chamber of Commerce, and we had the Vice President of Engagement, Eric Aldridge, come in. He talked a lot about engagement. So I raised my hand. I'm a new member, and I asked him about the athlete side. How does my agency, someone that's in the space, how do we work better with LA 28? And he
Mm.
was very honest in saying that's really not within his scope of work. So to work with the athletes is not really within what they're doing. But this is where I think everyone's missing the point. Definitely go after those government contracts, get contract ready, get the experience while you can. So if you're called upon, or you're showcasing your company, you're going after these bid proposals, statement of qualifications, all those great things, go for that. But for my side and what we do, I really want to remind people there is no Olympics or Paralympics without the athletes. And I don't
Mm.
hear anyone speaking about the athletes. And
Right.
so you can get involved with the movement right now. You don't have to wait for a government contract. You don't have to wait for that. So I'll give an example. Intuit today just announced that they are going to be at LA 28, founding partner, sponsor, all this good stuff. Well, they're going to weave their products and services, and they're going to do so through athlete storytelling. So this is very, we're going to get technical here. So
I love it.
imagine Imagine Team USA has 900 athletes, okay?
Right.
Maybe about 40 of those 900 on the Olympic and Paralympic side will be selected for athlete marketing opportunities. So, and they're going to use them interchangeably. You might see a Simone Biles here for this company, but she might also be, so they're kind of using just the same athletes over and over. So that leaves you about 800 something athletes underutilized.
Mm.
So USA Track and Field, USA Swimming, USA Gymnastics, they all need sponsors and partners. USA Bobsled, USA Skeleton, USA Hockey, they all need partnerships and sponsors. Okay, great. So where are our businesses helping them with logistics? They need help with distribution. They need help with so many other things. So you can start with the national governing bodies, which we call NGBs. So that's going to be your USA Rugby, your USA Hockey, like I was saying.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now you coming down micro, micro, micro. Where are our businesses? And I'm gonna charge my community. Where are we in terms of athlete marketing? If you like Sha'Carri Richardson and you want to use her for your promotions and marketing, you can reach out to her. These athletes are so accessible. Why aren't you reaching out to them on social media? A lot of them have connected their email addresses. So the thing is, when you know the entire industry of sports marketing, look at the origins of the Nike story and what Phil Knight was able to do, literally going around to coaches and saying, hey, take these shoes for your athletes. So he was doing a lot of grassroots marketing. And then it was like, oh, this high school coach going over here, there, and everywhere and growing his brand that way. So his thing wasn't about trying to get in the stores. It was like, do the athletes even like this product? Do they do what they genuinely use? They were probably taking his shoe off and going to Adidas.
Right.
Okay. Just wearing it because they were more familiar with Adidas and some of the other
Right.
brands. So my thing is, if you really want to get involved with sports and you're not including athlete marketing in your marketing and promotions, then I mean, I get it on the government contract side, and that'll be far and few in between, depending on where you are. You may or may not, but you can get involved today with the Olympic and Paralympic movement through the athletes. So you do this by storytelling, publicity, social media marketing, even if it's just a one-off deal. So really, I think when it comes to small businesses, disadvantaged business, what are you doing at all when it comes to marketing? And I just don't see a lot of people really investing in public relations. So you're not really telling the story. People don't know about your brand. So if you don't have any brand awareness, how are you going to grow your business? So I just think you need to have the marketing, the advertising, and the PR. And the Olympics and Paralympics is a great way to do that. So yes, you may not have the millions of dollars to sponsor the entire organization, but you can find a few athletes. And once you understand Rule 40, and that's what I help a lot of other small businesses realize, the regulations, the compliance, what you can and can't do. But
Mm-hmm.
that's becoming even more relaxed. So I'm really an advocate for athlete rights. And I just think that the athletes are not really being included in the conversation. But I
Right.
can tell you, all those big sponsors from Honda to Starbucks to Intuit, they're all going to activate through the athletes. And they know that. They're not going to tell you that, but they're working right now on what will the story be? Will it be focused on women athletes? Will it be focused on family, like a Procter and Gamble with "Thank You Mom" campaigns? So
Mm.
they're developing what the story is going to be, what the campaign is going to be. They are going to activate with the athletes, commercials, photo shoots, social media marketing. So they're going to do that. They're not going to tell you that. So that's what
Right.
I'm really waiting on, is for the sponsors to activate. But then also, some of these companies are thinking that they're going to come into this Olympic and Paralympic movement, and they're going to treat it how they license and do things in the NFL and NBA. And for
Hmm.
everyone that has thought like that, they have failed. You
Ah.
cannot treat these sports like the NFL and NBA.
So what is so let's say an entry in for a small business. What would that look like? What are some of the ways they could market or support the athlete? Because I mean, even at that point, the athlete needs money in order to do all of it. So what are some of those? What are some ways that they could do that?
First, you need to find an athlete that aligns with your brand's values. And
Mhm.
so, do you even have the common insight or perspective on the world? So, start there, because this athlete would essentially be a spokesperson or
Okay.
someone that represents your brand. So, are y'all even on the same page about ideology or how you approach life or competition? So, if you know your brand story,
Mhm.
find an athlete that has a similar story. So you start there. Start with the outreach. It might start with some products. It might
Mhm.
start with giving them some services, pro bono, like, or in
Mhm.
kind, what we call in kind sponsorship,
Mhm. Mhm.
to see. So I would say this: back in the days of like the Deion Sanders and the Shaq and all those days,
Mhm.
companies were just flooding products to the athletes. The athletes would have tons of clothes, and then they would not really wear them, or they would send the
Right.
product, they wouldn't really drink it. They really didn't get any feedback. So brands have really gotten more wise when it comes to that, and they're not going to
Uh.
waste their dollars shipping, not in this economy,
Okay.
shipping
Right.
products.
Exactly. Right.
So, but the thing is, if you're a small business, I would say start with hometown heroes. All
Ah.
right. So I'm from Kansas City. If I see an athlete from Kansas City, I'm going to reach out. We're in LA. There are so many athletes living and training in Los Angeles. Start
Right.
there. Like, I have an athlete that's a rugby athlete. He's from Carson. Carson is going, Dignity Sports Health Park will be hosting rugby. So we're already starting a partnership in which he will be able to collaborate with the venue, get involved with their programs. They have a budget for community engagement. Bring him in. Let's get some publicity going. So just start there. Maybe there's a certain athlete you're interested in, and if you can use your company's products and services in collaboration and partnership, start
Mhm.
there. And even if it's just giving some product placement, free products
Mhm.
and services, start there. See if they even like it. Because I think
Right.
long gone are the days where athletes are telling you to eat and drink and wear something, and it's
Right.
not genuine. They're just saying it. I think with social media nowadays, people can tell if it's authentic.
So let's say with a nonprofit that is providing a sport program, and even having them come in because we do have dollars for some dollars for someone coming in to talk to a child about the journey, right? And because they're coming in to talk on, they've been through the journey. Would that be something that would be of interest to that athlete?
So you mean like speaking engagements?
Yeah.
Oh my God, athletes love speaking engagements. They all want to
Okay.
speak. They all want to tell their story. A lot of times, so we do that through the media, so you can
Okay.
even know their story. But people are like, I want to hear this in person. So this is what I'm saying. Sports marketing is so important. You can even hire athletes for bookings. If you maybe you don't have the budget for a long-term engagement, you want to do a one-off, something
Mhm.
short. If you're having a company retreat or a gala or a fundraising event or networking, why not have an athlete come out and
Wow.
pay them like to do a keynote address?
Right,
Um,
exactly.
So that's the kind of opportunities we've been afforded and invited to. So, but there's so many ways. So even if it's having an athlete come out, do a keynote address at your annual holiday party that or a charity dinner,
Mhm.
that is going to inspire. Their story inspires others, and now people are more understanding of the movement, their story. They can relate,
Right.
and and then they start to open up those pockets because they're inspired, or they got to meet a champion. They Athletes love bringing out their medals,
Right.
allowing fan engagement to participate and take pictures with the medals. They really do want to share their story because it's one of triumph, especially when you're a Team USA athlete. There's not a lot
Mhm.
of funding, and so sometimes it is the community that is doing the crowdfunding and fundraising so the athletes can even get to a competition. And I just spoke at La Loya Marymount University this week, and
Uh-huh.
I think a lot of people were surprised. And I told the children to imagine. I said, imagine LeBron James having to pay his own airfare for every event.
Wow.
That would be
Imagine
atrocious.
LeBron James having to pay for his own team uniform and his own team shoes and his own hotel and just to get to the competition. Some he might drive to, some he might fly to. And
Right.
so, but they don't have to worry about that. All that is taken care of. But when you
Yeah.
are an individual athlete and you have yet to make the Olympic or Paralympic team, you're pretty much self-funded.
Yes.
So in this way, the athlete is then sponsored by a Nike. Nike will give these athletes a budget for traveling. We'll give them
Mhm.
free product for uniforms. We'll give them money for massage therapy or things like that. It depends on how good your agent is and can work that
Right.
in. But essentially, these athletes, they may have partial funding. They may receive monthly stipends, but it's nowhere near what you're seeing in the NFL and NBA. So that's why I'm always advocating for, if you're a small business and you see some Team USA athletes you want to get involved with, reach out to their governing body, reach out to the athletes directly, and partner and put your brains together and think about how you can use this athlete. But if you don't know how, then you call people like me and we help you come up with a
Okay.
strategy.
I love that idea because that's along the concept, with community soccer and baseball teams, right? They usually have a local business that will sponsor their jerseys or sponsor their cleats, or they may need ball bags or whatever it is. There's someone in the community, and they have a little tag with the company, and then when you go in the restaurant or whatever, they have pictures and they're all excited, and all of their customers are all raring and cheering them on when they're doing live events. I love this idea. Actually, I didn't know it was
It
available.
is so amazing, and now we're getting to the point of what we see in the NBA, but we have what we call logo jersey sponsorship. So for some of the ski athletes, if a small business wants to use that sport for advertising, you can put your logo on their skis. And of course, there's certain restrictions on the
Mhm.
helmets. There's
Mhm.
you got to put this sports sponsor, like the Team USA sponsor or the governing body sponsor, on one side of the
Right.
helmet, and they might give them like a little bitty space.
That's okay.
But that's okay for a small business because this athlete is traveling all around the world. You paid them some cash, and now your brand is global. And that's what I think a
Right.
lot of people are missing about Team USA athletes and these athletes that compete on the World Cup circuit.
Mhm.
They are going all around the world. So they're going to take your brand international, whether you realize it or not. You may be thinking just domestically, and that's
Right.
great. But for a lot of these athletes, especially like with track and field with the Diamond League, you get an athlete to represent your brand and they're taking it with them and they're promoting on social media. Um, you'll be surprised a lot of athletes are just not well sponsored or well funded. So that $5,000 for a logo placement can go pretty far. And especially if they win a race and they're
Right.
taking pictures. Again, there's regulations, what you can and can't do. But for the most part, if the
Mhm.
athlete is going to a track meet in Egypt or a swim competition in London
Right.
and they have your brand, they could step out for a day or a
I
few
think that
hours and wear your brand or
exactly.
promote your brand. So there's a lot of things that they can do. I just think you got to be extremely creative.
Right, and not overthink it, right? Just the basics that I know when we have tournaments at our courts, tennis courts, and on the local level, but then we have the national
Mhm.
tennis associations as well, ATA. And so, and we were just talking about that the other day. It was what are some of the ways, because the ATA, the American Tennis Association, goes way back. That was, color barriers were broken when Althea Gibson and those individuals that actually started playing tennis. And but all of our, there's a number of us that are part of that organization, members of that organization, and with our youth programs, that's what it's all about, right? Is um, making sure our kids are one exposed to what it would be like on that level, right? What is the journey? Because a lot of parents think, oh, my kid is just that kid, right? It's gonna make it, but there's what 1% that actually makes it to that top level. Is it one, maybe two? It's not a large
Well,
population.
you'd be surprised. I would say this: look at the USA bobsled team, especially on the
Mm-hmm.
women's side. A lot of those athletes came from the track and field world. You probably saw this in the movie Cool
Mm-hmm.
Running as well.
Mm-hmm.
So when you don't make it in one sport, I always say if you have a student athlete that's great in basketball and they're tall, like Michael Phelps, tall,
Yeah.
lanky, maybe basketball isn't it. Maybe swimming is it.
Mm-hmm.
So there are a lot of times you can transfer your skills over to a different sport. I do love that NIL is changing to allow student athletes to make money off their name, image, and likeness. Um,
Yeah.
Back in the day, before it was called NIL, we called it media rights or publicity rights. And I thought it was
Okay.
very interesting because people will always ask me, like, what is a publicist doing, managing athletes? And now that's all it is marketing. It's NIL. So I just say to the families,
Now, is that across the board? Is that, or I know it's basketball because there's many programs out there. I've talked to a number of programs where the athletes are now being paid to participate. I think Dominic Wilkins' nephew, yeah,
Mhm.
his nephew has a program in Atlanta that the kids get paid about a $500,000 it, to play basketball not on a pro
You
level.
can you
They're
can
not.
sponsor athletes across all sports.
Oh, okay.
There's a great platform I know about called Open Doors. Team
Mhm.
USA is using it now. Yes, I'll just say Team USA is using it now. We call it AMP, Athlete Marketing
Okay.
Platform. And so it could be a
Okay.
small brand and say, hey, this is what we have. This is how much we need from you in terms of deliverables, and the athlete can say yes or no. You're not going to always see the big monetary deals, and I think at some point NCAA will reel in some of this because it's like, really? But I'm gonna be honest with you. Like some of these NIL deals, I'm gonna have to investigate a little bit further because I don't think it's all what everyone is thinking it is, and that's just me on a hunch. Because if I was a
Okay.
student athlete and I made $500,000, I'm out. You get what I'm saying? Like seriously, but essentially they're showing us how much these schools were making for
Yeah.
decades off of student athletes, and the athlete wasn't able to represent their own family name that's on the back of their jersey. And
Mm.
so that's the thing too, and now add in social media, so it's just showing the true market value. But for me, I'm thinking, again, basketball, college football is always going to be important. But to be a true NCAA D1 school, you need to have a plethora of sports. So you need to have
Exactly.
gymnastics, lacrosse, maybe swimming. You need to have other sports. Now, what's really interesting is those are considered non-revenue generating sports versus these are the sports that are filling up
Oh.
arenas and stadiums. So again, it's on the backs of Black athletes, bless their hearts.
Mhm.
But again, these are the revenue generating sports and non-revenue generating sports. And I think we need to really work on that because I really think a lot of these Olympic and Paralympic sports can be making so much more money. But I just think we don't have enough people to really help expand and grow these sports. And so I would love to see more diversity behind the scenes, people coming. And when I say diversity, I'm also saying people come from different backgrounds coming into
Mm.
the and
Yeah.
really helping to grow because I've seen what they've been able to do recently with WNBA. And so
Mhm.
we never thought we would be here. But I also know that the NBA was like, when we're ready for this to blow up, it's going to blow up. And
Right.
so all of this is propaganda, is public relations. I love it. And I'm thinking the same thing when it comes to the Olympics and Paralympics. When they're ready for it to blow up, it will. And I think LA 28 is going to do that.
Wow,
Well,
wow.
actually, the reason most of the athletes, when they get their 500K, they don't say deuces, because that's opening the door for them to get a bigger payday out of the NBA, and other sports. So I wouldn't say deuces if I get 500K, because I know I can go
But
to the
well, I
NBA
guess
and
it
make
depends
millions.
on where you came from, though.
No,
So
I would say this. So, for example, let's say Speedo is sponsoring Auburn swim
Yeah,
team.
yeah.
Okay,
mhm.
and this athlete becomes a Team USA athlete, doesn't mean that they're going to necessarily sponsor them in their career.
Right.
Right, exactly.
They are sponsoring the school. The
Hmm.
school has the relationship, and a lot of these brands are they have regional departments.
Right.
So just because they're sponsoring you now, will they continue? And you will see that on the college football and basketball side, where they will carry them over brand
Mm,
loyalty into the pros. But when we're
Right.
talking about Olympic and Paralympic sports, they are interested in that. That might be a Nike school, like a Oregon, right?
right,
That school may be an SEC school and has sponsorship at the wazoo because it's a long-standing institution, a built-in fan base that ain't going nowhere and just going to add more and more with every generation. But now
Yeah.
right,
you're an individual athlete and you're going after these sports where you're trying to make the national team, and then it's everyone for itself. So even rugby, you are just one individual athlete, you still have to make that national team. You still need to qualify for the Olympics. And we know
right.
in sports, anything can happen. It could be a false start, it could be an injury, it could
Anything.
be a disqualification, it could be, some type of anti-doping problem. You can say the wrong thing and sponsors abandon you. So really it's about striking while the iron's hot. But at the same time, just because they're sponsoring you in college doesn't mean they're going to necessarily sponsor you into your professional career. And again, I'm not talking about the NFL and NBA. That's a different case. That they have the media value built in. The NFL, NBA has dozens of sponsors. But
Right.
now you're in a sport where anything goes. So I really wish more brands would be able to sponsor athletes across the board. We'll see what happens. We're really just hoping for the best. But
Well,
again, I'm here to really just advocate to say, you want to get involved with the Olympics and the Paralympics, why not reach out to a company right now? Because I don't necessarily think USA Track and Field is going to be using Ramp. I'm going to be honest with you.
That's
Our
true.
regional
no.
marketplace.
That's
I don't think
true.
it's going to be. I don't think USA
No, I
Gymnastics is going
don't
to
think so
say.
either.
I
That's
don't think
true.
they're gonna be looking saying, "Hey, I need now they." But a Nike might use it. We'll see. I don't
Yeah.
hear too many of these when we're having these procurement conversations. They're talking about government contracts, but they're not really saying, "Hey, we're gonna implore Adidas to hire a local photographer for their photo shoots." Adidas has been running campaigns. Nike, Puma, Under Armour, they all been
Right,
running
right, right,
campaigns
right.
for decades in LA. They have their go-to experts and photographers and production companies that they're going to be working with. But I really hope somebody bridges that gap. And I think when you listen to people like me and other sports agents, or other people that work with brands, that's where I think it gets a little murky. And I think we need to really clarify that. Will these commercial brands, will they be hiring local businesses? Because right now, if Intuit is an LA28 sponsor, you can work with Intuit right now. So, okay, I'm about to go see if I can get into that supplier portal. All right.
Mhm.
Like get
Yeah, because
involved
I
in
do.
that.
I work. I'm a pro advisor for Intuit. Did a program with the Los Angeles Urban League, where we're doing it now. It's a 3 year cohort where we taught. They were able to use into the software for a year, and it was a whole thing. So it was we've had over,
I
I
was in
think.
that program.
Oh, okay. What, did
I
I
was in
talk to
cohort
you?
2.
Okay. Did I get it? I don't know if I just spoke to you though. Did I speak to you? No, I don't, because
Probably.
the consultant. I was there for the kickoff though. I was there for the
Which
kickoff.
one? The one that just happened at LA Live or
No, not the one that, not cohort 3, cohort 2, where
oh,
we
you
all
okay?
went
Well, we were
overseas.
in the mix. Yes, that was a great
Yeah,
program.
yeah.
Yes, I'm really excited about them. And yes, giving us those sweets. But I really love the press release they put out today because they someone finally said it. They're going to be working with Team USA athletes about tax preparation and financing and all these things. But genius. They're weaving their products and product services
because
into
that, right?
athlete marketing.
That's one of the biggest issues with our athletes is financial literacy, right? Being able to manage the money that they're getting when that's never been, an emphasis. And so it's very important to be able to teach the young people how all of a sudden you got a windfall, and no, you don't go out and buy cars. You go, you have to save and you have to plan, and things happen, you get injured, and then what happens? And so I love this concept for the reasons that you're saying, but I also love it being that I've been in nonprofits where we work with children athletes, being able to take a child that has just learned how to ski or just learned how to play tennis, and you follow them for their career, right? And you're supporting them, and you're their rah-rah in addition to their family members, but you as a sponsor can be there to help them in this journey to pay for those expenses, because it's expensive to be an athlete. It is, especially when you get to a competitive places.
Oh, or imagine you mortgage off, you refinance your home to pay for some things, and then the athlete doesn't make the team.
Right, exactly. Mom and dad is scraping it together anyway just to
And
do
you don't
the
make that
private
team.
coaching. Right, exactly. So,
So we got to figure out a way to alleviate some of the financial burden on the athletes. And I think it's really time for the small businesses to step up. And I think I'm really going to, again, charge the entrepreneurial community to say, we did not become entrepreneurs because we think someone's going to give us something. We did it because we are proactive. We're very much
mhm,
do it yourself. So bring that entrepreneurial spirit to the Olympic and Paralympic movement. Get involved. Do not sit around and wait for a bid proposal or someone to say they want to work with you. Do not do that. If you really want to work in this movement, then get involved. Call USA Track and Field and say, hey, I have an idea. Or who's your shipping company? You don't know. They could have had a contract just in. Somebody's got to
mhm.
hurl around those hurdles. Okay. Somebody's got to move around that equipment. Who's going to help bring in all the balance beams? Who's going to help bring, like, a ball manufacturer or just anything? So
Right.
if it's your business, you should be thinking, how can I expand my business through the Olympic and Paralympic movement? You have to speak up for yourself. And sitting around waiting for a government contract, I don't think that's going to be effective. I think it's great if you can get it, but if it doesn't happen, what do you do?
I like the grassroots approach though. I think the more hands on, then you really felt like you've yeah, I participated, right? And who knows after that? I mean, you actually supported this young athlete. You don't know what can come out of that as they go along. Yeah, they could become that next gold medal winner, but in the process, when they look back on the journey, and they always do the journey stories at the Olympics, right? It's like, this is how I started, or that athlete that gets hurt and they got to start all over again, right?
But this is the thing too. It's still a feel-good story. You can still use the athlete's image. Actually, we've been very creative in the event that an athlete doesn't make the team. I'm very optimistic. The athlete probably hates this, but I'm like, oh, you didn't make the team? Oh, well, guess what? Verizon's looking for a athlete, a generic athlete for a ski campaign. I mean, you're not going to be busy. So, but you get what I'm saying? But I still found them some money. I found them an opportunity. So I also know when the Olympics and Paralympics are coming around, winter or summer, brands want to find an ad that looks like, so it's very generic. Well, why
Uh-huh.
not use an athlete that understands the technicality that's going to make your campaign look good? So you want to, show off the sport. Maybe you can't afford a Suni Lee. Maybe you can't afford a Simone Biles, but maybe there is a younger athlete who's on the verge of making the team that you
Mhm.
can sponsor that won't be as expensive. And you're telling the story. And in the event, with your support, that they do pop off, so to say, so to speak, then you're right in there. But you got to have an eye for talent. Everybody doesn't have that eye for how to recruit.
Right.
So then get in contact with agencies like mine, get in contact with me, and we'll help you with your recruiting efforts. And the reason that I go to the games, winter and or summer, Olympic or Paralympic, doesn't matter. The reason I'm able to source athletes that end up medaling, those underdog stories, is because I have a good recruiting eye. And that's just thankful to my
Mm.
training and, recruiting NFL and NBA. But I brought that to the Olympic and Paralympic movement. So I can tell,
Okay.
like, who's going to be next up. You need some experts. So why not, at least, if it's just reaching out to me, sitting down for an hour consultation, and I do customize, like, I can on the spot. I've been working in this space for so long that if someone came to me and said, hey, I have a shoe company or X, Y, and Z, then I can at least help them figure it out.
Now, Lila,
I love.
last week when we were talking, you did mention there are some, I think you call it, athletes' houses that they can make themselves available to entrepreneurs that can help them in certain areas. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Oh, yes, that was a great conversation. So I think a lot of people don't realize the hospitality side of the games. And so when we're going to the games, not every country, but the countries that can afford it, they have what they call like
Mhm.
their team house. So Team Great Britain has a house, Team Canada has a house, Team USA has a house, Team Jamaica has
Mhm.
a really good house. Like, we be partying. Like, I have a good time in the Olympics and in the Paralympics as well. So they'll have these houses. Sometimes the brand will have a house. But why not get involved that way as well? So what we do with these hospitality houses, an athlete goes on, they win a medal, they come by the house, family and friends, food, drink, just hospitality. I think a lot of people are missing that aspect of it as well. So we talked about Jamaica, for example. Why not reach out to the Jamaican Olympic and Paralympic team and say, hey, what are you doing for your hospitality house? We would love to provide these services. We're local. We're able to, get things done quick, or whatever your efficiency, productivity, sell yourself. But if you're from Switzerland or you're from Kenya or wherever your family, you're Japanese American, why not reach out to
Right.
those countries? Because I don't think people realize the world is coming.
Yeah.
And I know the
Yeah.
mayor says it, but I don't think, again, because
I don't think so.
I
People
don't think they're
really,
getting it.
Yeah.
they're not getting it because that was what you're just saying. So let's say someone that's been traveling all year, and all of a sudden they came and a Japanese family says, "Come in, let's go to my restaurant or come in and have an authentic meal,"
Authentic.
and they may not have had that all. They've been eating whatever
No, I went to
pizza.
EastCon last year, a big food festival, and Doolin's was out there. And Doolin's told
Oh,
me, people were saying, this was last year, 2024. People were saying things like,
yeah,
I've never had soul food before.
What?
right.
I know that's
Yes,
foreign to us, right? But
right.
so okay, so I'll talk about that a little bit on this, on the tourist side, but I'm talking about the
Okay.
hospitality houses. So
Yeah.
again, you're from Jamaica. Why not get involved and call the Jamaican team and saying, hey, for the 17 days of the game, the 2 weeks of the games, let's have a hospitality house. We'll open
Mm,
up, we'll make sure you have this. You're going to need furniture for this house. So what does this house look like? It's not your average, like, bedroom home. We're
right.
talking about a house.
Yeah.
Uh
Like,
huh.
imagine the Getty Villa or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
beautiful mansion in the hills, right?
Yeah.
Where just
Mhm.
your countrymen can come in and gather and take a load off before they go on to the next competition, because the
Yeah.
events are going to be spread everywhere. Now,
Right.
moving
Mhm.
over to the tourism side, yes, LA, you better be ready. I already told a lot of these businesses, you're going to run out of food. You're going to run out of food. Get your inventory up. Whatever it is, sell, sell, sell. You're going to sell out of your stock because, or if you do this, you should be getting on these top restaurants lists or top places to go shopping. I think they're going to
Mhm.
provide some type of pamphlet or brochure to say, here's where you can eat, here's where you can hotel, here's where you can shop. And
Mhm.
yeah, but you need to do it yourself. You need to be out
Mm.
there doing your SEO, doing your social media, digital marketing to find these people. And I'm going to tell you, everybody's going to come from all over the world. They're going to be like me. They're not going to listen to the official list. They want to explore LA for themselves. A lot of people are going
Right.
to want to go to Crenshaw Expo, as you saw with the Nipsey Hussle Metro cards, how that was
Mhm.
causing a frenzy. People were going to see where NWA was born and raised. Like, people want to go see Hollywood. People want to go see
Mhm.
every aspect of the city. And you remember, especially when you're dealing with Europeans, they really just like to backpack. They like to get in their hostel and just explore for a day or two. I think some of those Europeans are going to end up in the mountains. I think a lot of people are going to end up in Vegas. They're just going to be all over the place because they're like, I'm in USA. But I really think it's not emphasized enough how many people are going to come in and out of the country for any given sport. We're going to have over 10,000 athletes from any given country.
They said there's about 206 countries that the athletes will be coming from.
I know. And I think Paris Games had about 10,000 athletes. And not to mention, mom and dad is going to be traveling to come see their baby compete.
Yeah.
And a lot of
Mhm.
people just want to come to the USA. Some people are just sports
Yeah.
fans and they just want to come.
And Los Angeles, I mean Los Angeles with Hollywood. I mean they've been seeing the people, the movies,
Oh,
and they want to be able
love
to.
it.
Yeah, I want to be able to see the Hollywood sign
Yeah.
or the walk of the people. And so my brother-in-law's brother, we always tease him. He's our local. When family come in that has never been to Los Angeles, they always call Polly because Polly takes them on his brand of tour.
That's what I'm
See,
saying. Like,
that's another opportunity right there for transportation
and don't
services.
forget the rest of the country as well.
Yeah.
People that are
Right,
from LA are going to
exactly.
be coming back. People that never been to LA come from Chicago, New York. Like
Right,
people, even
exactly.
we talk about the world coming in. We got to even take care of the USA citizens that will be
Right,
coming in.
exactly, right. The people who have never been to the Los Angeles, or because I think was it the rowing gonna be in? Is that gonna be in Santa
So
Barbara
Oklahoma, there's
or
going to be some things, some events, some like softball and kayaking going to be in Oklahoma.
okay?
Which and then surfing. I remember, I think in Paris 2024, the surfing was out in Fiji somewhere. I was like, oh, they're so
In
far
beaches
away.
places,
But but that just speaks to the growth of these sports because surfing wasn't always an Olympic or Paralympic sport. But they're still growing. And then we also are going to have some new sports that are going to be debuting. So squash, flag football. Just we're going to have some exhibition sports. So that happens every games, as you saw with Paris, breakdancing. And people think that they just took breakdancing away because it was so bad. I want to dispel that myth. That is not what happened. I think LA should have got breakdancing because it is a USA creation, okay? Born out of,
mhm,
you
mhm.
know, New York, okay?
Right.
But
That's something that you can organize there, Layla.
well, some people talk to me about that. And I remember like I just have so much information. I won't say that. But what I'm saying is every Olympics, Paralympics is gonna have some exhibition sports, meaning they want to grow these sports, they want to add it to the movement. It just needs to build a fan base. So squash, lacrosse, flag
Pickle
football, these
is pickleball in that?
not
That-
yet. But as you see, pickleball is growing. Pickleball
Right,
might have its day in the Olympic and Paralympic movement. And
That's
if it is
Crystal.
right.
That's
successful, they
Crystal's
may
area.
add it later.
Yeah, well, because snowboarding was not. I mean, it was a lot of opposition during the time, and I was skiing when that happened. Eventually, we learned to play on the same mountain, but it took a lot for us to learn to play on the same mountain.
So, but that's what I
Um,
love about all of this. So, when you compare the 1984 Olympic Games to what we're about to receive, way more sports, way more athletes, way more disciplines. And so in some sports, they didn't even have a women's team. So now you're going to have, I
mm-mm,
think they said for the first time, more women competing
mm-hmm.
than men. Rock climbing is being added, para
Oh
climbing,
wow!
all of these things. And so I don't think it's far fetched for breakdancing to become an Olympic and Paralympic sport. I just think it's going
Now,
to take a lot more growth. But that's again, you're an entrepreneur. You should be having a growth mindset. You're a small business. You should be thinking about how to expand. So a small business can become a big business. I'm very big on that. Maybe small to mid-size, too big. But we should
right,
all be figuring out how do we grow our businesses. And if you still, if what I'm saying is just confusing you, you're even more confused than when we started, just get in contact because it's really, this is not going to be just an easy cakewalk in the park. You really need to
right,
sit down and think comprehensively about your company, what you can and cannot do. Are your finances straight? Do you have the capacity to really take on? And maybe right now you just only sponsor 3 athletes. and maybe that will grow to 12 athletes. And I
Right.
implore these corporate brands too. They're not perfect. They may not get it right, but that's where my company is stepping up and saying, allow me to share my expertise with you because you don't want to get this wrong. And I'll just give like a real quick case study. Toyota was a great Team USA, I think even like a top Olympic partner, but I think they
Mm.
realized they weren't able to touch the athletes like they thought they would. And so they kind of
Ah,
came off of their top Olympic partnership and they went more to just, we're going to work with individual athletes, we're going to work with individual NGBs. And so I thought that was really interesting. So there are companies that are like, this is not what we signed up for. And I only say this about Toyota because they were very public.
okay.
I have a lot more behind the scenes stories that I won't share, but Toyota was very public in expressing their disappointment that they weren't able to do more. And so,
Yeah.
but somebody should have sat down and talked to them about how to maximize your partnership and sponsorship of the games. And so, again, I know I'm a small business myself, but I have a lot of big ideas and I behave as if I am a large business.
Well, I mean, you have to have big ideas
Yeah,
as a small because you got
absolutely.
to fake it until you make it, right?
Yeah,
But you can't think small because you'll never grow to that big person. And I think I love the fact that you think out of the box because everyone else goes with the regular, right? This is, I would have to do it this way, or I have to be a big Nike, or I have to be a
very
big
cookie
Tennis
cutter.
Warehouse,
Yeah,
right? Very cookie cutter. But no, you're saying no, be creative, right? Come up with something more creative to be, and with the athletes because they are the sport versus with all of the other parts around it, feeding the people and all that sort of stuff. Pat is saying, I'm doing my research right now.
I love it.
So,
Hey, Pat, what's up?
she's already out there doing because I think, and I'm sitting here going, how can our tennis program, we got 2 years, we can raise some money.
Yeah, exactly.
So we may be calling you to get some ideas. And I know that
And you know what? When we were at the GLAC, I asked a few people. I said, or I've been asking people at small business networking events, how do you want to get involved with the Olympics, the Paralympics? And
They don't know. They
they're
don't
like,
really
I
know
never even
because
thought about that.
no one has mentioned it
They're like,
before.
huh? They
So,
know they want to be
yeah,
involved. They don't know how.
Lila, let me ask you
yeah.
this: if an entrepreneur wants to get involved, how do they go about it? They contact you, or is there an organization they contact and say, "How do I get started?"
You'll be
Because
surprised. Even our top Olympic and Paralympic partners, they all have agencies on record that help them and consult them. And you should be doing the same.
how about the
Get
ones who don't know anything? They don't know how to
Well, you
get
should be
agents.
you need. I would say this: don't waste your time trying to do too much and grow too fast. Get in contact with people like, and I'm sorry,
Like
I'm trying
you,
to be for everyone,
like
but
Well,
you,
no,
right?
no, I'm loving the fact that yeah, because you got a lot
get
of
some
information,
consultation, even
and
if it's just marketing consultation. Think about, even if you just get a consultation and they come up with a template or a skeleton of how you can execute, and then maybe you hire another agency to actually execute, or what can you do in-house. I think you really are going to have to outsource this. I think you're going to have to speak to people that have. So look up sports marketing agencies. They can consult you. Someone, and for me, like I said, as a small business owner and entrepreneur, I'm very much open and I'm heavy networking. That's why I'm here on this show as well, to just say, get in contact. Even if it's a 1 hour consultation, you will have to pay for this consult. I used to give free consultations. I don't do that anymore. Yesterday's prices are not today's prices, like you were
right,
saying in the
exactly.
broadcast earlier. But even if it's just a fee, a consultation fee, just to get the blood going, the juices
Going
flowing, yeah, just
so
like
you can
get
get
you
an idea,
excited. And so
So,
let's sit down and
right?
talk about what is it that you're trying to promote. So for some people, it may not be their full product offering. They may want to just promote one part of their business by working with athletes.
so,
So how
Lila,
can you grow? Yeah.
for them to get in touch with you, they're gonna go to LB Media Group at
.com.
Lila .com,
Yes.
LBmediagroup.com,
.com.
and
Uh-huh.
it's Lila at LBmediagroup.com, right?
Yes. Or I love Instagram at Team EBMG, stands for LB Media Group. So Team EBMG is a great way. Hit me in the DMs for
Crystal is
sure.
gonna type it in the chat so that
Yes.
the
So
audience
it's
can get a
easy.
hold.
I like
Yeah.
Instagram for some reason. But I'm gonna do my part to, like I said, to be more vocal, to advocate, and I just really appreciate this opportunity
Yeah.
because, like I said, I haven't heard anybody say this, which is fine. I mean, I'm disappointed in some ways,
Well, you're a
but it's an
unicorn. You're a
opportunity in other
unicorn,
ways.
so that's why
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
why you're
So
the
what? Let
one
me get
trailblazing this.
what
You
was
see what
it?
I'm saying?
Team M.
EBMG, as in Ella B Media Group, Team EBMG
Okay,
on
Team EB.
Instagram. And I just, in terms of somebody wanting to see what we're doing on social media,
Yeah.
definitely DM. I'm super accessible.
Do you
Like I
have
said, either my
videos?
website or my email.
Do you have videos?
My videos are on YouTube.
Okay.
And I try to show people a lot of what I do. And you will also see a lot of my publicity work that I'm still doing. I do a lot of freelance media work to keep me busy in between these 2 to 4 years of the games. So I still fall back on my public relations background, and I still work with small businesses on their publicity campaigns.
Because I'm thinking this
Okay.
would be helpful to small businesses if they can get a taste. Because I'm telling you, a lot of folks are still not clear on what to do here. They would like to participate, but they don't know what to do. So by having you say, do you have classes on these things, like, an
Whew.
exposition? Do you have
It's
that?
coming. I'm like, do I have to write a book? I think I'm gonna have to do something
Maybe.
because you're going to
Maybe.
miss it. This is
Because
a
if you
billion
have
dollar opportunity.
classes, this might help to educate folks. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they just because they need to know. Okay, I know I want to do step 1, 2, 3, 4, but how do I start with step 1? Where do I go? How does it? How do I initiate step 1? So that's the kind of thing I think. If you have a video on, that would
Mhm.
be perfect. And plus, you got stuff on YouTube. You see what I'm saying?
Can I just say one thing? I am one of the only, if not only, Black owned business in this space when
We
it comes to
believe you.
athlete representation in the Olympics, Paralympics, winter, and summer. I go to the
Hmm.
games every year. I'm not seeing anybody on the caliber. When I go to the Team USA agent meetings
Yeah.
or summits, I'm not seeing any other. So my thing is this: I got to be very, very careful about how I maneuver in this industry. I cannot give away the
Yeah.
trade secrets because what we're
Right.
doing is extremely unique. And I will say this: at the days that I was very vocal about what we're doing, it has expanded. People are really
Okay.
taking the ideas, and I'm like, thank you for moving that mountain for me. So to me, there's no such thing as somebody stealing my idea because my
Hmm.
ideas are about solving problems. So thank you for doing the heavy lifting for the people that think they were stealing my ideas. You were really just moving the mountain for me
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
removing obstacles.
And you're you.
Yes.
Your enthusiasm, your background is really what shaped you to do what you do. And so no, they
I
can't
don't
steal
think
that because that's
I,
that's you.
I don't think
Yep.
anyone can just come in and just start managing this and dominating it, because it took you years to build up all that expertise
Yeah.
and
But
all of,
I
you see what I'm saying?
genuinely am interested in the athletes,
Yeah.
being a student athlete. And I was thinking, how do I help the athletes with the business side? So if you're not watching skeleton and bobsled, you're probably not going to get involved in it.
So
I
here's
was
the deal then.
genuinely watching those
Here's the
sports.
deal then. Here's the deal.
Mm,
So why don't we do this? Why don't we create a partnership? You have contacts with the athletes, and we here on the business zone reach out to the small businesses, and we help to make the connection with you and those athletes. How about that? That sounds
Let's
like
do
a
that.
good
Let's
deal.
get a deal memo going, a short-term deal memo.
Yeah, I'm
I love
serious.
contract negotiations.
Because here's
Let's
the
yeah,
deal.
figure
because
out what that looks
we
like
have
for
access
sure.
Here's,
to
here's the deal. Here's the deal, Lila. I run a mentorship program. So I have a handful of small businesses, about 16 to 20 of them, that I'm training and preparing for contract readiness and all
Mhm.
that. Crystal has a group of entrepreneurs that she's working with also. So together, let's say you need a caterer, we got a caterer. Let's say you need someone in a transportation area to drive a 15-seater bus to transport the athletes and their family from point A to mansion B. You see what I'm saying? We can provide those things. So let's do that. Let's do that partnership
Yeah,
right now.
and that's the thing. So what is happening with all of the procurement summits that we're doing? They're mandated. They have to do that. They have to give the
yeah,
illusion of inclusion. Okay, they
yeah,
have to do that
exactly.
because it calms people down. and it keeps people like from getting upset at our politicians about or the local businesses.
Yeah,
But the
but
really
we're
where
not
this is
thinking
going to
about that.
happen is on
We're
the
not thinking about
local
that, Lila.
small
We're not
business
thinking
level.
about that. We're
Yeah.
we're doing this ourselves,
That's the
Lila.
only way it's going to get done. And I hate, I don't want to undermine what they're
Right?
doing because it's great, but I'm
Yeah.
like, somebody needs to
Well,
be
and there's some
honest.
people going to go that direction anyway, just because
They
that's just
don't
who
want
they
to.
are.
They don't want to.
Right, but I like this. I like this approach because it's more hands on.
Yeah.
And you can start
Especially if
today.
like,
Yeah, that's what
and
I'm
you can
saying.
start today,
That's what
and
I'm saying.
especially like she's an athlete. So many of us play sports and we and or work with groups that do
Right.
have sport programs, and we understand what it takes, how much it costs. Without my tennis program, there's no way these parents could take get their kids to college not paying $125 an hour until they get to college. There's no way. We do our program for free and we get supported for that for our kids. And then as they get to that level, but just getting that type of uh, support is I think valuable all by
It's
itself.
very
And I
valuable. And here's
support.
the thing. Here's the thing again, Lila. We're not we're not stepping on, the city and all these other organizations with their procurement program. We're not, because they have a database that they establish, and they said, okay, you guys can go to our database and see what opportunities are there, and da, da, da. That's not a proactive way. Our proactive way is dealing with you, the agent who has been in the industry for a long time. You have the pulse of the athletes right on your fingertips. So you're checking with those guys, seeing what they need. You reach out to us. We have our pool of entrepreneurs that we've been training for
Yes.
years. This is a perfect match.
And
That's what
I'm
we're
gonna be
doing.
honest with you. I'm gonna send this interview to the mayor's office. I'm gonna send it to the city
Yes,
council president. But this is the thing: they're going to thank us because we're
that's what I'm
able to
saying.
touch hundreds, not maybe even thousands of businesses this way, as opposed to only a few companies will win
That's
contracts here
what
and
I'm
there. We're
saying.
taking care of. They might only be able to do the 10%. We're gonna
Yes,
take care of the 90%.
that's what I'm saying. You see what
Right,
I mean?
yeah, that's so much
That's what I
better.
was
That's
saying
so
about the
much.
sponsorship. The corporate sponsors, they sponsor maybe 40 to 50 athletes.
Yeah,
I'm going to take care of the other athletes.
that's what I'm
Yeah,
talking
there you
about.
go.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
so in
there
in
there
in
you are.
in in all, everybody's gonna get touched. So the city and their pool of entrepreneurs is gonna be touched, and then you and us and the other pool of entrepreneurs who are not in the city database are getting touched too. You see what I'm
We're
saying?
going to
And
reverse engineer this and to
yeah,
any athletes that are watching or maybe watching this later.
yes,
They're going to thank me. And I just tell them,
right.
be patient because I'm
Hmm.
about to put all y'all's names out there.
Yeah,
And we're going to have companies picking and choosing who they
yeah.
want to work with. And we're going to come
That's
up with
what
a
I'm
comprehensive
talking about.
plan. Yes,
And
absolutely.
everybody's gonna get to
Exactly.
eat. Everybody's gonna eat. That's what we're
And I
about.
want to do this across the board. Maybe there's other people like you, Coach Gilbert and Crystal.
Yes,
Maybe there's other people like you all.
Yeah.
yes,
That's what I'm saying. We got thousands of athletes to take care of. So we may only be able to touch so many with this particular program. I would
yes,
love to scale this.
yes.
Okay. That's how I'm going to get to my
Mhm.
billion.
Right.
Let's scale
Right.
this because we got a lot of athletes to take care of.
So
Right.
here's the
Exactly.
deal. You remember you went to that little get together last Friday at the Glac, right? Did you eat any of the food?
Yes,
Did you,
absolutely.
did you
Especially the
like it?
juice. That I like that punch.
That's one of our entrepreneurs who prepared that food. The
Absolutely.
salad and everything. That's one of our entrepreneurs.
Yes.
So those are the types of people I'm saying that we have available. So let's say the Jamaica, athletes decide to have a little party, pre-party before an event, right? The night before,
The
which they
families, not the athletes.
which they're not
The
Wait
supposed
till they
to
family.
win the
do, right?
medals and then you can join the festivities.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Yes.
after they get the medal, the family decide to celebrate, and they need some catering. We
They
can.
want some jerk.
There you go. We
Yeah.
can provide one of these caterers to that event, by working with you, and make it happen.
Yes. And
So
they're gonna be reliant. So the thing is like they all know LA 28 is on the horizon. They may not be thinking about it. So why not call Team Jamaica and say, what are you doing for your hospitality? It's because you
Yes.
can't bring the food from the island.
Right. Because
So
I'm thinking you would be the key person to do those types of things, to reach
yeah,
out
I'm
to those
already
guys.
talking to
You see
like,
what I'm saying?
yeah, the Polish
'Cause-
team, Team
yeah,
Netherlands. I'm talking to
yeah,
like we're because when you get it, you get it. So when I have so many friends because
yeah.
I've been going to the Olympics since London 2012 and the
Right.
para and winter in between. I have
Hmm.
friends from all over the world, and so now
Yeah.
I get to play host and I
That's
get
what
to
I'm
take care
talking
of
about.
them. So yes, I'm helping
Right.
a lot of different parties here.
This is a win,
That's
win, win,
awesome.
win, win,
Awesome.
win, baby.
I love it. So your company, Ella B, whose name is that?
So
Your grandma?
Ella B is I love how I came up with this name. It was so crazy. So again, I thought I was going to be a career intern, and I always knew I wanted to work in fashion. So I really liked the idea of Bella PR, but I saw there was already a
Okay.
Bella. So I did a little pig Latin, moved the B to the end, then it made it Ella B. But I was like, wait, those are my initials. And then I created a spirit animal with the bumblebee, the queen bee. There's only one queen bee in this colony, sole proprietor over here. And then I was like, well, also for me, you like as a bee would take the pollen and go make some honey.
Right.
I'm leveraging
Oh
publicity,
wow. Okay.
making publicity into money. So my money in the honey, you get it. So I just thought about all of that, taking things and transforming it into something else. And so I was like, I really like how this is shaping up. So Ella B, that's really my initials. My
Okay.
emblem is
Okay.
my spirit
Like
animal is the queen bee.
okay. And I was like, is this a grandma?
I know, and look, I know it's so cute. And but then I come to find out about Ella Baker and what she and how she did things at a grassroots level in the civil rights movement. A woman that was very powerful behind the scenes. A lot of people don't know who Ella Baker is, and I kind of feel like that too. Like Ella Baker is very
Okay.
powerful. So it's like the spirit is kind of working and bringing it all together full circle, and that's how I know I'm walking in my divine path.
You are, and your energy is just absolutely
Thank you.
phenomenal. The athletes that you are representing, you have to keep them elevated because you just have such a your spirit is just amazing.
Thank you.
And this is your, everybody wonders, is this my dream job? Is this where I'm supposed to be? I think this is where destiny meant for you to be.
Yeah, and I just want to say thank you to the athletes that have selected me as their agent, and I believe in them just as much as they, in some way, have to believe that I can get the job done. And we go through a lot. I stick through my athletes through injury, whether they make the team or not. They say, "Hey, Lila, I didn't make the team. What do we do now?" And I have to have a game plan, and I usually do have something, even if it's in the back of my mind. And then also,
Okay.
I'm working towards a retirement on day one. The things we do now is going to help you in your post career. And so I do have athletes that have retired. They know they can always come back. But I'm also saying, hey, I found a quick little opportunity for you. You want to make some quick money. I'm getting the game back
Okay.
together for LA 28. And a lot of my even former clients have been very open and receptive. So I couldn't do this without the athletes. And that's why I'm saying there is no Olympics nor Paralympics without the athletes. So let's keep them in
Right.
mind and support
Exactly.
them.
I just absolutely love it, and yeah, as Gilbert says, we do have, and we've worked with our businesses to make sure that they're ready for whatever they need to be ready for. So yeah, I like the grassroots approach. Because I do grassroots sports with children and entrepreneurship. I have a couple of kids. I do a program. I teach kids how to be entrepreneurs,
And I,
and
and I just wanted to correct because I was looking at the chat. The Instagram is Team EBMG. So it's 8 letters total.
okay. All right. So team. Wait, where am I?
Yeah,
Can't get over
EBMG.
here.
And then
T
on YouTube,
E
we have
B.
a lot of people on YouTube.
Okay, it's your letters then.
Yeah,
E
just the acronym.
B M
And then
G.
if you want to spell out LB Media Group, you can find the whole on
Yeah, I
Facebook
went to your
and
website and
YouTube. Yes.
okay.
And you can
Yeah, and
spell out
I just
LB Media Group.
actually,
Yes.
I like this
yeah,
grassroots approach because a grassroots approach
I
means that
actually,
we don't leave anyone behind. You see what I mean? So this is going to be really good for this team that we're doing right here. So
Yes.
if you want us to sign an agreement, let's do
Don't
it,
worry,
man.
I'll draw it up.
Yeah, let's get it going, because then you on that side, because that side, you're an expert on that side. On this side, we know getting the businesses ready, get them prepared, then we match them up with you and the
And we
athlete.
can work with your budget. If you're saying, hey, I want to devote this much money, I can find the athletes of that caliber for you. And in the event, maybe you pay this fee for this athlete and then they go on and win a gold medal. I'm like, boom,
Oh,
you
we
got
get
a
money
gold
out
medal
of that too.
athlete. Huh?
When they win, we get money out of that too.
I will see. We'll see. But you will have that relationship because now everybody in the world is grabbing at them, but they will always remember you supported them when they were the underdog. And
That's
so,
true.
and then but now you can go have your little company dinner or your fundraiser and get this keynote speaker. And now you're going to be able to make more money that way. You
That's
will,
what I'm
or if
talking
you
about.
are they're taking photos in your products, you get
Yeah.
to use that. We got to talk about a little bit of
Hey,
compliance.
man.
That's what is really important as well, because a lot of people may be offering what I'm suggesting, but I'm also going to make sure
Mhm.
you're compliant and you're within the permissions and the guidelines and the regulations.
That's what I'm
Because
talking.
the International
Exactly.
Olympic and Paralympic Committee do not play. They will shut you down, a cease and desist, and they have spies everywhere. So they
See,
will
Oh
find
yeah.
you.
that's what I was saying to you earlier, that your competitors, they don't know all of these things that you know. So there's no way they can compete and win.
And I just want to give one last warning to small businesses. If you think you're going to ambush market or guerrilla marketing this thing, don't do it. I just don't want you to waste your time. There's no
Yeah.
such thing as guerrilla and ambush marketing when it comes to the Olympics and Paralympics.
Yeah.
It's just don't even try it.
Well, the rules and
Mm.
guidelines are going to be in your agreement. So that's what we're going to have to let them abide by. Because
Yes.
the agreement between us, there's going to be a sub agreement between us and them. So
All right. Well, let's make a deal.
it's
Let's
going to
get
be
it
the
done.
same content that you have us agreed to. You see what I'm saying?
We're making deals on the spot. I love
Yeah.
it.
Other part,
That's what I like.
I love it. You have been awesome. This has been fantastic. I will create some shorts and send it over to you along you and
Thank you.
send you over the once I finish the I got to go back in and put in all the other stuff in the bottom, the
Yes.
description and stuff. I'll send that over to you as well. But the shorts, I'll just go put that. I'll put that in tonight, and then because there's a lot of nuggets that you put out there, and it would be great for you as well. Thank you so much for spending the afternoon with us. We so appreciate you. I look forward to seeing you at the games,
You will.
and I'm going to talk to my tennis people after I share this video. I actually tagged him on it earlier because Marty thinks really, really big, and see if there's a way that we can support some of the tennis players that are just coming
Yeah.
in.
Let's talk.
Um,
It's not like I said. It's not going to
okay.
happen overnight. And let's work it out. Let's figure it out.
Let me
Okay.
ask you this quick question, Lila, because since we have one of our entrepreneurs here in the chat, she does notary services and all those types. So how could we get her involved? Because she is phenomenal at what she does. I know many of those documentation are going to need to be notarized, and she even do courier services. So how do you think we can get
Well,
her?
I'm all, that's a huge part of what we do.
Yeah.
That may come more on the working with the agents, the people that are actually doing the
Yeah.
deals with
Yeah.
the notaries. It might also come in with the governing bodies,
Yeah.
things that are going to have to happen on site.
Hmm.
So the thing is like she knows her audience more, so she
Yeah.
probably can tell me
Hmm.
how or what type of people she's looking for, and I can
Right.
connect her
Well,
with the players.
funny you mentioned that, because we just did a business model and a company profile. So
Yes,
she'll
yes.
have all of that information in there that she can present to you.
Yeah, and there's a lot of times where you actually need those notaries. So what players, but I can imagine there's gonna be things like that on site in the ground.
Yeah,
But the thing is, you're gonna have to work with maybe not the athletes in that way, but maybe other small businesses like mine.
that's right. That's right.
Mhm.
Hey
Mhm.
man, I
So many
I
different players.
really, on behalf of the business though, my co-host and I, Crystal Mitchell, we really appreciate you being on this show to share your expertise with us and our audience, because we never had anyone like this on this program. We never had anyone like this in our circle that we can speak to. You see what I'm saying? So
That's
this
why
is
I'm so
good.
passionate about it. So I really do appreciate you. Thank you so much for having me. This has been a
Yes, yes,
great pleasure.
And that all of that goes for the Paralympics as well, right? Do they get as much notice? They don't get as much attention as the Olympics
No,
themselves,
but that's
do they?
okay because LA, this is the first time Paralympics is coming to LA. So I think there's going to be a bigger push for
yeah,
the Paralympics, but we always want to remember them as well. They have fascinating stories. Not all athletes were born with a disability. Maybe some had a tragedy. They just all have unique stories, but
yeah,
they are just as viable as athletes. And we
right.
really want to tell them, and
Right.
sometimes even a better story, more heart, pulling at your heartstrings because of what they've overcome, or
Hmm.
just so much to learn from them as well. But we need to pay attention to their stories as well.
We just want
Yeah, we might.
go ahead.
I'm going to have that conversation with our. I think we'd like to see how we can fit with supporting them. My tennis program. I'd like to see how we can fit in that area
And I
because
do
I
have an
think that would
athlete
be.
that's Team USA, but her family is Jamaican. She's a Paralympic powerlifter, Ashley Dice. I'm just gonna give her a shout out. She's so amazing.
Okay.
Yes, so you get what I'm saying? Like the thing is those athlete stories and those backgrounds.
Yeah,
That's why the publicity, we start with publicity and we leverage it into sponsorship.
yeah,
Tell the story first.
Yeah, because I like to see how we can work that with our children being
yeah.
involved in that, because that's the give back, the helping and to support others where they are, and the journey. So yeah, I'm gonna talk to my guys.
We
I'm
could
gonna
talk
share
for
this
days,
with
as
them.
you can see, about this.
Yeah,
So I think
yeah,
I know
I
y'all
see, I
wrapping up
see.
your show.
Chris,
So
Chris, Chris,
Yeah,
Crystal has
so
some
huh?
some star kids in our program, man. They're just
Yeah.
phenomenal.
So my head is I got all kinds of wheels going on over here. So and I'm sure you do as well.
And I
But thank
just
you
and I just want to let you
for.
know that one of your listeners, Omar, is on here listening up, supporting you. So, hey,
Omar
Omar.
is his own sponsor within itself. He's a great, great ally. Small
Hey,
businesses need sponsorship too, because I'm sponsoring the athletes in a way, and he's just a great support. So hi, shout out to Omar.
hey,
Omar.
Omar. We probably gonna have to get you to sponsor the business zone too, Omar.
So thank you guys. Thank you so much for being here with us, and we just wish you the very very best.
Yeah,
And I am sure L&B Media Group is just going to soar.
we're gonna be following up with you, man. We're gonna be following up with
And let's
Yeah.
talk after Milano, Cortina. Maybe we can do a something after the Winter Olympics, and
you.
we can
Yes.
do
Okay.
catching up.
Okay,
All right.
sounds
Sounds good
great.
to
I
us.
appreciate you,
Well,
Lila.
thank
All
you for
right.
joining us today, and we'll be seeing you.
Okay. Bye
And for
bye.
those
You
of
got to take
you
me
Bye.
out.
For
Yes,
those
I'm
of
gonna
you who
take
are
you out.
just tuning in, I just want you to know this was a wonderful interview we just had here with Miss Lila Brown, man. She's phenomenal. She's involved in the Olympics, and she's got her own company, LB Media Group, and she's been representing athletes all over the world for the longest time. And the business zone is going to be working very closely with her to try to match her up with talents in terms of entrepreneurs and see how we can make this thing work. We need to have more minority and the black presence in terms of entrepreneurs involved in these Olympics. So that's what we're trying to do. The Paralympics, the Olympics itself, and all the other types of Olympic games and events. We want to bring that to all of you guys so everybody can win. We need everybody to eat, guys. So that's what we're trying to do here.
Exactly.
So, co-host, do you want to share something
Yeah,
else splendid with our audience?
no, I think this has been fantastic. This was perfect. Just being able to get some insight. It's always good to get insight.
Yes.
Insider information. That's when you guys come over to the business zone. That's what we try to do is bring insider information. We do insider information as well.
That's right.
And Pat, thank you for joining us today. And those of you that are out there watching, and I'm sure many more of you will see us on our YouTube channel. So again, go over to our YouTube channel and subscribe. Hit this subscribe button right here. And we will see you all next actually, we won't be here next Friday because that is the holiday
The
weekend.
following
So we're
Friday.
gonna we'll see you the following Friday, December 5th, and we have a guest on that week, that day as well. Sherry Betts is going to be joining us. She was one of Desiree's friends that came in 2 weeks, about 2 weeks ago, 2, 3 weeks ago. And then we're going to have Miss Lisa come back to give us some insight on the cash apps during the holiday season. So she's our cyber security expert. So she's going to come back and join us as well. So with that, guys, we want you to have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Enjoy
Before we
your
check
turkey.
out, I wanna let Lila know that Pat thinks that she's gonna be a billionaire. She said, "Oh man, this
Oh,
is
she hears
great
her. She's in the back
information."
room.
So Lila, she already deemed Lila a billionaire, man. So
Yeah, you're already a billionaire, Lila. From her ears to God's, from her mouth to God's ears, and it is there. She's gonna be that top agency,
yeah,
and we're gonna
man.
go. Oh, I remember when she was on her up and way, on
You
her
know,
upping
Crystal,
upping.
she reminds me of. You remember Janice Hyroyd, the only black female entrepreneur to have gotten a $40 million contract from Ford. You remember her? She's a member of the Urban League's board of directors.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I
She,
do remember her.
Lila reminds me of her. She was
Okay,
unique in her industry. She was the only one doing that. And people go, "What are you doing? You're not going to get anywhere." She got a $40 million contract, you know.
yeah.
So,
I mean, you gotta, as an entrepreneur, and we all know this, right? We have to think out the box, man. You just
exactly. And,
can't.
and that's what
You
Lila
gotta
is doing.
think big. Even though you're small, you can't be thinking small. You gotta think big.
Yeah.
You gotta breathe it. You gotta live it. You
Right.
gotta, and before you even get there, you already have to see yourself there.
Yes. Yes.
And I think that's, but we can't have small ideas. We can't think small. I mean, you can you have to you kind of have to imagine it. It's kind of like years ago there was a book called Secrets, and that's what it was. It was manifesting what you want, your greatness, and so you got to live it. You got to walk it. You got to talk it,
Yeah.
and you got to see it yourself before anybody else sees it. You have to see it, and so that's what I see. Lila, she sees it, and she has a passion for it, and so
And
um,
that's why she's getting every bit of our support, because we can identify with that, because that's what we do for our small businesses as well. So it's easy to gravitate to someone like her. She's unique. She's a unicorn in the industry. No one is doing what she's doing. She's kicking butts and taking names, and I love that. So
yeah,
keep
I think so too. Awesome, awesome, awesome.
keep up the
So
good
thank
work.
her. Yeah,
And
so
bye,
thank
Lila. Don't leave. We need to talk to you after the show.
so everyone have a fantastic Thanksgiving dinner. Enjoy your family. That's what the holidays are for. I know right after on Friday we are actually putting up our tree. Last year we got a little distracted because we were just so down after January 20, and or whenever, and November 5th after the election last year, we were like, oh my God. And so we were just all distraught. We never did get a tree up. My sister and I, we were laughing because she says, okay, what should we do on our color scheme? I said, I don't know. Let's look at the pictures. And she goes, how come we don't have pictures? Because we didn't put up a tree. We did everything around the tree, but we were just so distraught after the election. But we're not going to let that happen to us this year. We're putting our tree up right after Thanksgiving, and we're going to at least enjoy our holidays. We don't know what they're going to look like, but we're going to enjoy them, and we hope you guys are going to do the same thing. So be
Co-host,
safe out there, everyone,
co-host,
and enjoy.
I got to give you a compliment.
What's
You're
that?
looking good.
Oh,
That aerobics exercise you're doing is working. So you're looking good.
yeah, I work hard
I
at
got to
that. At
give you
that.
your props, man.
As soon as I get off of here, that's where I'm going. Well, my water, the water aerobics, the pool
Yeah.
is being
So
maintenance,
it's
but
working
I
for
can
you.
work out here in my living room.
Yeah, it's
So
working for you. All
thank
right.
you very much.
So we'll see you guys.
All right,
We'll see
everyone.
you
We'll
guys
see
not
you.
not this coming Friday, but the following Friday. Okay.
Yes. All right.
Now,
Go over. Hit the music. Thank you, Pat.
As a small biz pro, I saw we roll, using procurement, program and control. As a small biz pro, I saw we grow, using procurement, program and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur.